for the different athletes. We had Ask the Challengers and Ask the Champions. So our fantastic social media team gathered some of the best ones. Hopefully you enjoy the content today, and media members. For the last 5 or 10 minutes, we will give you guys the opportunity to ask questions. There will be a couple of microphones down here, sort of like we do for press conferences. So I'll certainly let you guys know when you have the time for the guys up here. So without further ado, all of the challengers are in the building. So please give a warm welcome to Colby Covington, Alexander Volkanovski, and Germaine de Randamie.
Colby!
Colby with the accessories. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Like I told you guys backstage, these are all questions curated from Twitter, and then of course the media will also ask their questions. But before we get into questions for each of you as individuals, I would love to hear your thoughts. This one is from This Is Sanjeev. He actually brought up a great point. The last time we had 3 title fights on a card was UFC 217, and all 3 belts changed hands. Do you guys feel like that could be some good luck for you as you head into another card with 3 titles on the line?
Yeah, I'll go first. We all do our part and we can get it done. Like I know I'm very confident I can get the job done. I'm sure they're confident they can get the job done. Let's see if we can do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Alexander, since you started, I'm going to ask you a question here. Justin, oh man, with all the numbers, 727-52542, said, what do you have that none of Max's other opponents had when they faced him?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I believe, this game's evolving, and I've evolved with it. I believe that, I know a lot of people are going to say, obviously, Frankie's got the wrestling and all that sort of stuff, which he does, but I've got that power, and I really know how to put it all together. And a lot of people are going to say that I'm going to have problems with the range and stuff like that, and believe me, when it comes to range, I'm very comfortable there. I've got a lot of good trainer partners, got me ready for this. But again, there's going to be people doubting me, but we're early days away where, I can prove them wrong, and all my supporters, I can prove them right.
And you have another teammate on this card as well, right? Kymaro France?
Yeah, Kymaro France. So yeah, we've both done camp together, both absolutely killed camp, both in really good nick, and we're both ready to get them wins.
Excellent. All right, Germaine, the next question is for you. It's from Juniad De Niro, and I have to apologize. I'm probably butchering every single person's name or a screen name. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. Okay, so they want to know, what have you done differently this time around with this rematch against Amanda?
Well, first of all, 6 years is a very, very long time, and I've said it before in interviews. I'm very thankful to Amanda. She gave me the best lesson ever. She made me wake up, and I can say I'm a mixed martial artist now. I'm not just a kickboxer. So the difference will be I'm a mixed martial artist and not a kickboxer.
What do you feel like you changed the most in terms of your training after that fight? Did you start grappling a lot more? I mean, what was different?
Well, I started to embrace MMA more, the wrestling, and got more respect for the wrestling and the ground game. I'm like, you cannot overlook that. And I was solely focusing on kickboxing in the first, and now I'm all-rounded. I brought a wrestling coach out from the United States to come help me in my camp. And I have great coaches, great team behind me, and I can say one thing, I'm ready for Saturday.
We're certainly excited for that rematch. Colby, I see you're reading your book here. I'm sorry for boring you.
Just trying to enlighten myself.
I see. All right. This one is from Bobby Esau. He wanted to know, if you weren't a fighter, what would your career be?
Ooh, man, that's a really tough question. And I've thought really, really hard about that question. And yeah, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, my God. All right. And what about your answer for that one?
The only thing worse than being on the Clintons' hit list is being on my hit list, and Marty Fake News was going to experience that on Saturday night.
Oh, Colby, you're making my job really fun today. Do you not have an answer for our fan question? I was expecting you to say something provocative about what your career would be, but...
Yeah, Epstein didn't kill himself. I know the fans out here, my haters are dumb, but they're not deaf.
Oh, God bless you. All right. This one is for all of you guys. This is from Fifth Round Lawler 2. Great username. Who do you guys believe is the MMA GOAT? Who do you think is the greatest MMA fighter of all time, excluding yourselves, obviously?
I don't believe there is a GOAT. I honestly don't believe that. Everybody's beatable, and it's been proven over and over again. There's been a time that a champion has a long reign, but everybody is beatable. Everybody has 2 hands, 2 feet. Everybody can be defeated.
Are there fighters out there, Germaine, that you enjoy watching, or fighters you feel like you've been able to pick things up from as they've made their journey in MMA and the UFC?
I think every fighter, is amazing. It takes a lot of balls to walk out of that tunnel and, step in that octagon. It's pretty scary at times, I have to tell you.
Alexander, what about you?
Yeah, look, I understand what she's saying, but I still think that there's guys that, fighters that have done a lot. GSP, as one of you said, obviously great legend of the sport. I'm a big fan of Demetrius Johnson. I think seeing what he done. So, it's just there's probably obviously Anderson Silva. I know these fighters probably end up losing later in their careers and stuff like that, but when they were going, even Aldo and things like that, in their prime while they were, absolutely killing it, I've got to give them so much credit. So I'll probably throw them 3 names out there.
You mentioned Jose Aldo, who you have faced and beaten. What do you think about his fight this weekend?
Man, going down in weight, I thought he cuts a fair bit going to featherweight. So this is I seen a photo, 5-6 weeks ago, and it didn't look good. So I hope he's healthy going in there, I really do. Humble bloke, good, legend of the sport. I hope he's all right. But if he's healthy, I think he wins. But let's just see if he's healthy.
I saw him this morning. He was in great spirits. He was over at the host hotel. He seemed like happy Jose. So we'll see what the next 48 hours obviously hold for him. Those are the most difficult. Colby, do you have an MMA go? Are you just too busy reading? I know that you're very close with Matt Hughes. Maybe he's your guy.
Everybody knows I'm the greatest of all time. GSP's a bum. He's in Canada eating poutine. I'm in America eating poutang.
And here we are.
I'm glad he answered the question that time. So that's good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, let's see some more questions from fans. Oh, I like this one, actually. This is from Infame Slayer. Have you guys ever fanboyed or fangirled over meeting another fighter or another athlete?
Hell yeah. Justin Gaethje, seriously. I'm a huge fan of Justin Gaethje. So when I saw him, like, dude, can I please take a picture with you? Yeah, absolutely. And there are so many other fighters. I respect all the fighters. So if I see a great legend, Anderson Silva, I saw him. I was on the same car with him, and I'm like, well, I was starstruck. And I'm like, wow, Anderson Silva. There's so many, but yeah, Anderson Silva and Justin Gaethje.
Jermaine, you are the nicest. Alex, what about you?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the sport. I really am. So even guys like Chad Mendes and Aldo, even when I fought him, I was honestly like fanboying him pretty much. I'm like, oh, far out. Look who it is, you know what I mean? The same with Max Holloway. I remember after the fight, after Chad Mendes' fight, I end up, because we're into the same sort of thing, so on his Instagram, I end up writing something to him, and then he wrote back, and I'm like, oh, Chad Mendes wrote back to me. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm still a fan of the sport, you know what I mean? So I fanboyed Chad Mendes after our fight, so.
I love that. You guys going to go on a hunt together or something?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I just didn't want to say that out loud, Hunter.
Sorry, I ruined it for you. Colby, I can't imagine that you fanboyed over meeting anyone, but what about when you met, I know you want to talk about it, the first family?
Megan, I love you, but do I look like a mark? I'm not a mark, but I do love the greatest president of all time, Donald Trump. What he's doing for America, he puts America first. Can't thank the first family enough for what they do for America. They don't have to put themselves in the spotlight and do what they do for America, but they're saving America, and everybody here should be thankful.
Did he call you? I know that sometimes you get to talk to the prez on the phone. Did he call you in the lead up to this fight?
He didn't call me in the lead up to this fight, but I'm sure I'll be getting a call after I beat up Marty Fake Newsman on Saturday night. Just like when I beat up Robbie Lawler last fight, he called me, and You know, the Trumps got me staying at their hotel. First class treatment, just like they treat America.
Excellent. All right. Alexander, next question's for you from Oregon MMA commentator. What did you take from Max's fight against Dustin Poirier?
Yeah, well, you know, that's a thing a lot of people know. Max's game is that pressure, come forward, punch in volume. But Poirier was able to, you know, obviously stand his ground, and it was hard to really get Poirier on the back foot. Poirier was sometimes able to get Max on the back foot and, you know, capitalize on that. His fitness actually held up. He did slow down, but he was able to still bring some of them last rounds. It was a close fight, but again, like I seen that, you know, if you don't gas, which I know I won't, you're going to do well. But, you know, I believe I've got a lot of the tools. There's going to be people that don't believe it, but again, I'm days away from proving it, you know what I mean? And no disrespect to Max, great champion, but, you know, I think it's my time.
When you actually saw the lead up to the fight with Max versus Dustin, did you believe Max was going to come out on top of that one?
Yeah, I actually thought Max was going to win that one. I did. I thought that, you know, them later rounds he would come. So there was, I think it was the middle rounds he started coming, and then Poirier was able to like even get that latest round. So that surprised me. But I mean, it was a close fight. But again, yeah, we did see a bit in that. Won't give too much away, but I mean, there was things that he done that we obviously took note and you know, we're going to use.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to study everything you can. Germaine, next question is for you from Angelique Social. She wants to know, what will winning the belt mean for Dutch MMA?
Well, first of all, I'm going to be the first Dutch to ever held 2 UFC titles. I don't know. I think I think they will be proud. You know, like I said every time, I'm carrying the pride of a whole country, not just me. And you know, I'm very proud and honored that I could carry my flag to the Octagon, and then I will carry it with pride. And I hope I can bring the belt back to the Netherlands, and not just the Netherlands, just for Europe. Because if you think about it, if I beat Amanda, every continent in the world, if he beats Max, every continent in the world holds a UFC world champion then.
Interesting. Antarctica's never going to have a champion, so they're not allowed to be involved in this. I love that. Okay, Colby, next question's for you. I feel like maybe you'll answer this one. Jordan Saucer wants to know, will you shake Kamaru's hand when you win the belt?
I think Marty Fake Newsman needs to rehash his friendship with Rashad Evans, because after I break that bitch on Saturday night, he's going to need to sleep on his couch.
Okay. This is a sort of random one for all of you guys if you feel like answering, if it even pertains to you. Christian Alvarez wants to know, did you guys have Spotify results? You know, people were tweeting out all their Spotify results of what music they listened to and what were their top. Do you guys do that?
I thought, yeah, actually, I've heard about it, but I haven't actually done it. I'm going to do that soon, though.
Okay.
Sounds like something a nerd or a virgin would do.
I'll make sure Christian Alvarez knows that. All right. Did you guys ever consider leaving the sport of mixed martial arts? I don't have a username for this one, sorry. Did you guys ever consider leaving the sport? You know, obviously everyone has ups and downs in their careers, and when things are slow in the beginning, they can be really slow and really challenging monetarily. Did you guys ever have a time where you thought, maybe I'm going to go down a different path?
No, not really. No, not really. I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm a police officer besides fighting, so I'm very fulfilled, you know. I'm blessed.
Amazing.
Thank you. You know, I'm very blessed. I love what I do. You know, I love helping people. I think it's very important people feel safe. And at the same time, I get to share my love with all these people, you know. So, no, I'm happy where I am.
How do you balance that, Germaine?
I ask myself that all the time. No, seriously. No, you know, I like to stay busy, and, you know, I'm healthy. I can do, you know, I have healthy hands. You know, I like to help people, and I think it's very important people feel safe, and I like the distraction. You know, I'm more than just a fighter. I'm me, and, you know, I just do what I gotta do.
Well, it's really commendable, and I think everybody out there would agree with me when I say that that's pretty amazing that you do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, well, this one is very random, but I feel like it's a fun end of the fan questions. If this is from SFTD1, Sympathy for the Devil, I guess. If aliens were going to destroy the world and you had 24 hours, What would you spend that time doing if you had unlimited resources? I'm frightened for some of these answers.
I know I love my food, so I would go out, and especially right now. So if that happened now, I'd go get some, I don't know, I've been talking about maybe some chicken wings or some burgers or something like that and just go all out on them just before, right now.
Just gorge yourself.
That's a good question. I probably just hug everybody I love and tell them how much I love them.
I said, you're the nicest. That's the nicest answer, Germaine. Colby, I can't even imagine.
I'd probably be working on my bedroom cardio.
Making your bed, cleaning your room. I totally know what you mean. Okay. I think we could do some media questions now. I see John Morgan with the mic. Go ahead.
Let's start with Germaine. Germaine, I know 6 years ago, a long time ago, you said, but can you tell us one thing you learned about her that night? I know you said she taught you a lot of lessons, but maybe one thing that surprised you or impressed you about Amanda the first time you met.
I think the most thing I learned about it, and the thing that will happen Saturday, is she's not going to stand with me. She's going to shoot on me.
Nice. I know you just said you don't believe in GOAT status, but people call her the female GOAT. Where would that make you if you beat her? I mean, it'd be your second belt, and you would have dethroned the GOAT. I mean, would you be in that discussion?
Oh, hell no. No. I'm just Germaine, man. I'm just nothing more than Germaine. And that's it. I mean, I have the utmost respect for Amanda, and without any doubt, I would be the last person to say no. She is the very best MMA female fighter on the planet at this moment. And if I beat her, I still be Germaine. That's it.
Very cool. Alex, I want to ask you, I mean, you've kind of called your shot along the way, right? You've never hesitated to say, I belong with the best. I'm going to be there. Now you're here. Give me an idea what the emotion is like, how this experience is playing out versus the way you had envisioned it for all these years.
Man, we've had a few chats before, and it's the same. You know, as I've always said, I always just play what's in front of me. I don't really get too hyped over like these things. I don't let it get to my head. It's just another job. You know, even Max again. You know, it's a big challenge, but he's just another job in front of me. Once I get in that cage, you know what I mean. So I'm just playing every minute by every minute, man. Honestly, obviously, it's things are more media, more things that you got to do, but at the same time, I'm me. As she would say, I'm just Alex every day of the week, every minute of the day. But, you know, once I get in that octagon, there's a job that needs to be done. I'll go and do that. Then after that, that's when I can really soak it up and let it go. I like to keep myself on a level, and that's what I think. I don't know if most people can do that, but I'm really good at keeping myself composed and level. And I'll wait till after the fight and then let it all go.
You've always had respect for your opponents, and Max included. I mean, going and breaking him down and getting a game plan ready. I know you don't want to tip your hand, but I mean, when you started seeing him, is there a glaring weakness anywhere that others have missed? Is there a spot that you think, gosh, I can't believe nobody's capitalized on this before?
Oh, yeah, there's probably things that they haven't capitalised on, but I mean, I'd be lying if I said he wasn't a great champion. He's very well-rounded still, you know, obviously he's got good takedown defence and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to approach things a little bit different. Just the things that he does so well and what's worked for him so well in his past fights are just things that I don't believe are going to work as well with me. So obviously he's got his punching in volume, his gas tank and all these sort of things. These are things that I don't believe are big threats to me. You know, obviously I've got the gas tank. If he really wants to come forward to me and try and break me, he's just going to fall into my game. And that's, you know, and I'm too powerful for him to force that sort of game plan on me. But hey, again, he's a great champion. He's a smart man. He's got a high fight IQ, so I'm sure he's going to mix it up. But so am I, so I can't wait to dance with him in there.
Thanks, Alex. And then for Colby, if I could, please. Colby, obviously you've remained supportive of the First family today as well. I got to ask, was it disappointing at all that the president couldn't wait a couple of weeks and come out to your fight instead of making it to Madison Square Garden instead?
Well, the only reason he went out to Madison Square Garden is because me and Marty Fake Newsman were supposed to be headlining that. But Marty Fake Newsman had to let the EPO get out of his system. So, you know, that's why we couldn't do it. And, you know, he put it in his schedule. And, you know, he's too busy right now with the impeachment bullshit. So, you know, it's too bad. But, you know, I know they'll be watching, you know, at home. And, you know, I'll get to go back to White House and bring him a new shiny belt.
And listen, you've got supporters, you've got haters. I mean, both sides of it, no question about it. Whether people love you or hate you, you've proven, you know, a masterful promoter in getting people interested in you in a fight. Is there anything that you've done along the way, though, that you regret, that you say, man, maybe I went too far here, or maybe I did say something or did something that I shouldn't have in fight promotion?
No, not at all. I've just always been real, and I've not been afraid to say it how it is, you know. A lot of the stuff I say is truth, and if people have feelings, you know, this isn't the feelings championships, this is the fighting championships. So whatever I got to do to sell a fight is what I got to do. But, you know, I've been real. You know, a lot of the fighters, they're scared for the fall. I'm not scared for the fall because I know I'm a winner and I'm going to keep winning, and I'm not scared.
And last thing for me, Colby, I mean, winning this title on Saturday night would be a huge moment for you. Give me an idea. What's the next goal? Is Masvidal the guy that you look at as the #1 target right away, or do you think there's other contenders that may be ahead of him in line?
You know, that's a great question. And as the people's champion, I'd like to ask the people who they'd like to see me fight next. Should it be Journeyman George Masvidal? Should it be GSP? Should it be Kebab? Should I be that little Irish leprechaun that couldn't even knock a drunk dude, old dude off a stool in the bar? Who should it be? Who? Masvidal? Looks like it's going to be Street Judas, Journeyman George.
Do we have more media questions?
Colby, I see you reading that book there. You were also reading it at the press conference in New York. I'm curious, on one page, your friend Donald Trump Jr. outlines something called the Trump Derangement Syndrome. For those who haven't read the book, could you maybe elaborate on it and sort of explain why it relates to your life presently?
You know, the thing about this great book, you know, New York Times bestseller, is, you know, it's about triggering snowflakes. And, you know, usually I'm spoiling movies on Twitter, but, you know, I'm not going to spoil this. You guys got to go out there and get this book and find out for yourself.
Well
and then, for Alexander, last week in LA, Max was talking about the reach difference in this fight. He actually described himself as a T-Rex, saying that you actually had the reach advantage. Now, if he's a T-Rex, have you ever thought about what your favorite dinosaur is, or you know, what dinosaur you could describe your fighting style to, and how it will help you against the T-Rex, like Max Holloway?
Yeah, no, it's funny. That comes up a lot. Obviously, people talking about, oh yeah, Max has a reach advantage, but supposedly I've got longer reach. But I mean, at the same time, like you know, managing distance and having reach, someone can have good reach. It doesn't mean they can manage distance very well. So. But I don't care. I know I can manage distance. I know he can manage distance very well. But all right, back with the dinosaur question. What would dinosaur be? I don't know. Well, he can be, mate, what's got long arms? I'll be a gorilla, and I know gorillas got good long arms, but it ain't a dinosaur. Sorry.
All right, and then finally for Germaine, this is your second sort of fight week as a title challenger. You were super duper cool and calm and collected in Brooklyn a few years ago. Nothing got to you. I'm curious, how are you going to plan to stay so cool and calm this week in Vegas?
Just have fun, man. Think about it. As a fighter, your time span is this short. You know, we got a whole life ahead of us. It's a waste of my energy to not enjoy this. Seriously, this is the best thing ever. You got to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, it's a waste of your energy. I did everything I could in this camp. And I will leave it all in there Saturday, no matter what happens. So I better enjoy it.
Mark, did you have a question? Oh, go for it.
Just for first for Germaine, you were the first UFC Women's Featherweight champion. This fight is obviously for the bantamweight title, but is there any scenario where after this, win or lose, you may go back up to 145?
You know, I'm a very, very light 145er. When I fought Holly, I stepped on the scale at 143. I walk around maybe 148, 150, you know. And I believe there's so much challenge in the 135, and in 145, there's just no challenge. I think there are two girls. You know, I focus on 135. Let me defend that belt and be successful at that if I win. And then, you know, we'll see after that.
Maybe if you beat Amanda, you can go up and challenge Amanda for her 145 title. What do you think about that?
Let's fight Saturday first, all right?
Okay, sure. For Alex, Max Holloway was talking last week about how he feels like he'll need to leave the division eventually to become his goal of being the best fighter in the world, maybe the best fighter ever. Is he talking too much about other divisions? Do you think he should focus more on this fight coming up on Saturday?
Nah, man, there's nothing wrong with looking ahead. It doesn't mean he's looking for him. It doesn't mean he doesn't think I'm a challenge. We're always looking ahead. I do the same. But I mean, obviously he's cutting a lot of weight. You know, obviously he's talking about that. You know, but like I said, I'll make that decision easier for him. Again, I don't mean that in any cockiness, but I'm confident I'm going to get the win. I think he was a great champion at featherweight, but now it's my time. He can move up and maybe trying to take out that lightweight title. But yeah, again, Saturday night, it's going to be my night, and again, that belt's changing hands, and again, he cuts a lot of weight. Maybe don't stress your body that much anymore, and I'll stay champ for me.
So you said you look ahead too. So what do you see in the future?
Mate, look, I'll be honest. So I'll fight the featherweight division. He both champions in the featherweight division. Aldo and Max Holloway. I've got nothing but respect for them. They were great champions. They fought the number one contenders. Whoever's next in line, they fought, and I'm planning on doing the same. You know what I mean? So, they've done a great job, but now it's my turn to do a great job after Saturday night. So whoever's next in line, bring them on.
Thanks, Alex. And then just for Colby, I don't want to interrupt your texting over there, but
No, actually, I think your girlfriend was swiping right on Tinder.
what color would you say is that suit?
I would say that's orange.
Orange. And is there any significance?
I mean, what would you think?
I saw some people saying it was salmon color. I don't know.
Salmon? I don't know about that.
Maybe on video it looks like.
This is a tribute to Nick Bockwinkel, if you know who that is.
Of course I know who that is. And why?
Remember when he rocked it?
It was a promo that he had?
Yeah.
So why did you wear it today?
In memory of him, in honor of him. I gotta show these people what WWE is all about.
And then I was wondering, you've been here for a couple days now in Vegas. Have you seen Dana White? Have you talked to him at all? I know that you guys are kind of on the outs. Any reconciliation there? Everybody knows I ain't got nothing to say to Uncle Fester. And he's not going to wrap that belt around my waist on Saturday night, I can promise you that. So what's the plan? I mean, that's tradition, right? Dana White wraps the belt around the winner. I know you believe that you're going to win on Saturday, so what happens? It was tradition until they did the Broken Mediocre Fighter Championship last weekend in New York, and they gave away that Bernie Sanders participation trophy, and they let The Rock put it on Journeyman George, so I want Candace Owens to put it around my waist on Saturday night. Thanks, Colby.
Cool. Okay, I think that's all the time we have with the challengers. Guys, we appreciate it so much. Is there anything you want to say before you get off stage? There's a lot of fans here. There's a lot of media. Just in case you get your final messages out.
Woman for Trump? Where's my woman for Trump? Yeah!
You guys have anything you want to say before?
Nothing wrong with being a virgin and a nerd.
Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you guys for coming out and sharing some of your fight week with us. Best of luck to you guys in your fights. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm thinking maybe the champs are here, but I'll find out in a second. Just a quick reminder, weigh-ins are at T-Mobile on Friday. Doors open at 2 o'clock because we will have a special press conference for the UFC Houston event, UFC 247. We'll have John Jones, Dominic Reyes, Caitlin Chukagian, and Valentina Shevchenko, the 2 belts that are on the line, and the 4 people that will be fighting for them. They will all be in town. Make sure you get to T-Mobile early. Doors at 2. And, of course, if you don't have your tickets for the fight yet, make sure you head on over to Ticketmaster.com, go over to the arena, pick up your tickets for Saturday's UFC 245. We're going to take about a 5-minute break, let the champs get here, get together, and then we'll be up here doing the same thing you just saw. Cool. Thanks, guys.
What about 246, Megan?
All right, we're back. Thank you so much for your patience, guys. We just had the challengers, so now it's time to bring out the champions and sit next to these shiny belts. We have Kamaru Usman, Max Holloway, and Amanda Nunes all in the building. Please give them a warm welcome. First off, I told them backstage, these might be 3 of the best dressed fighters we have on our roster. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. Dapper Scrappers all around.
I mean, y'all know how we do, right?
All right, so like I told you guys, we have some questions from Twitter, and then we will get questions from media. So I'm going to start off with a group question. This one is from Telvin on Twitter. And I think it's interesting. Because you're all champions, you've obviously all been at the pinnacle of the sport. How did you celebrate your championship wins?
I couldn't really celebrate because I was hurt for a while. You know, I always plan this. When I'm done, I'm gonna go take a trip somewhere exotic for like a whole week. Just eat, get fat, drink, do whatever. Nah, I was laid up in the hospital the next week. So I didn't really get a chance to celebrate. But after this one, though, I'm gonna celebrate in style. I might take the private jet to Nigeria.
Ooh, that's what's up. That's champ shit.
I'm trying to get like y'all.
What about you, Max?
Any of you guys watch Creed? Remember
Yeah.
when you remember the scene when he said that he just won, he knocked out someone, I forget who it was, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna take the city, let's go. And then the next scene is him sitting on the couch, falling asleep, eating ice cream. That's pretty much what I did in Toronto. We were like, yeah, let's go crazy. And then we actually went go eat, we went to the hotel room, and I got ice cream wasted, so that's about it.
So right after the fight, I drink a beer and I sleep. And the next day, I go for my friend's house, or I do a huge barbecue at home. And then Lambert, the owner of the gym, he always make like a huge dinner for all of us in the Shima restaurant. And we all celebrate. I go to Brazil, see my family, do a bunch of things. Like, have some fun right after, for sure.
Those were three like very grounded answers, not like any crazy outlandish parties at a nightclub or I bought a Maserati as soon as I walked out of the arena. You guys are all good. All right. Let's move on to some more fan questions. Max, I'm going to start with you. Lemonhead wants to know, what has your toughest opponent been to date?
My toughest opponent to date was probably, I would say, was Andre Fili. And he's probably the hardest puncher I faced too. So I think Andre Touchy-Fili, that guy can crack. I know he's a Samoan too, so that's probably why he hits so hard.
Dang, that's unexpected because, I mean, obviously you've been in these big title fights, you finished Andre, but really interesting. Do you guys have somebody that comes to mind in terms of who your toughest challenge inside the Octagon was?
For me, I would have to say maybe Leon Edwards, just because it was harder for me to break his will. And he stayed in there. It's just something about fighters. When you're fighting, you can feel the other guy. You know when stuff are landing, they're affecting him. But for him, he was in there. He hung in there the longest time. So I think that was probably, I would say, my hardest to date.
Yeah, I say Valentina. I think it was a tough one. It was 25 minutes, like pretty tough one. But I was able to get the victory.
Yeah. All right, one more for the whole group. This one is from Fame Slayer. Being world champions and some of the baddest people on the planet, do you guys have any phobias?
Yeah, I don't like snakes. I'm just gonna be honest. It's just something about them. There's no bone in their body, but the way it's a snake. A snake is a snake. But I'm gonna kill snakes, that's what we do. We kill snakes. It's just something about snakes. I don't care if they're non-venomous or whatever it is. It's a snake. I don't care if it's small, if it's big. If you see a snake, everybody's gonna do this. So I would have to say snakes.
I guess if we're talking about bugs, it's a flying cockroach. You guys ever see those bad boys? Yeah, keep them away from me.
It doesn't have to be a bug.
No, I really can't think. I probably have a lot. If we sat down, if we had all day, I'll go down to it. I got a bunch of phobias, I think. So, but right now, since he talked about snake, flying cockroach, don't ever bring one. You're gonna get spinning back kick. You bring one cockroach around me.
I say I have two things. Fly, one of them. I'm like terrified to fly.
Really?
So, yeah.
And you have to fly a lot as a UFC champion.
Yeah, I always have to sleep literally the whole time fly. My doctor giving me like a medicine that I be able to really not have any anxiety. But I thought one time I'm gonna have a heart attack, and that was the huge thing. I have to get a doctor, I have to go, I have to fix this, because I'm gonna fly a lot. And the second one, needles. Needle?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I have this thing, almost a faint, take my blood work. And so, yeah, these two things really I hate the most.
So USADA has a hard time then, coming to your house, taking that blood.
Oh yeah, for sure. We hanging out a lot. Until finally you can do now. But
that's amazing.
And they become my friend now.
Oh yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, we hang out until I can pee, I can do something.
Yeah, you feed them breakfast. I know they're always petting my dog when they come to visit our house. I totally get it. All right, Amanda, back to you. They want to know, Mr. Fight Pro wants to know, did you feel more pressure when you first challenged for the belt, or do you feel like there's more pressure defending the belt?
Neither. I'm very comfortable, I believe in myself. I know what I'm capable of, In this point, you're supposed to be challenged, All the girls want to take that belt from you. You have to be ready. And for me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be ready for everything.
I want to piggyback off something that we asked Germaine, actually. We asked her, obviously she was on the losing side of your first fight, what she was doing differently. And she said, well, 6 years is a long time. Do you even look at that first fight with Germaine at all?
I do. Actually, I see she evolved a lot, of course, especially in her wrestling defense is improved a lot. But actually, her strike changed a lot as well. She used to move more. Now she's kind of more stiff, and that is gonna help me a lot to put in my game plan. And yeah, I look forward for my first fight with her. I feel like if she do the same mistake, I will capitalize and finish the fight.
We can't wait for this rematch. Kymaro, JBren11 wants to know, how do you keep your nerves down in the build-up, especially with a fight that has so much animosity as this one against Colby?
I think Amanda just kind of touched on it a little bit. I think it comes down to believing in yourself. You just kind of, what the work that you put in, everything that you've given, everything that you've sacrificed. And so, of course, there's always going to be those nerves because it's like, oh man, did I do enough? Am I ready? You're always going to feel that, but it's, you have to be able to bring your mind back to, shit, I put in too much time. I got beat up by all these training partners, man. No, I'm ready. You have to be able to just hone all of those and use it once you get in there. I've surprised myself sometimes with some of the things I'm able to do in there, because we all know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the fight, leading up to the fight, we're getting beat. You're just tired. Your body's exhausted from all the long training camp. You're getting beat up by training partners who normally can't even land a punch on you. They're taking you down, beating on you. But it's just a matter of, just believing in yourself once you get in there and controlling all of those nerves. I think that's truly what makes champions champions.
Absolutely. Max, you told me that you wanted some fun questions. So Arturo Jr. 91 wants to know if Spam is an essential part of your diet.
Spam musabis. I wish. You see, everybody keep talking about, look how big. I got problems stop eating the cupcakes, so I got to give up Spam or cupcakes, and I got a sweet tooth, so cupcakes.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go with a more serious question now. From Fight Night Chat wants to know, how have you dealt with your losses so well and bounced back so successfully?
It is what it is. It is what it is, for real. It's sometimes that's just how life goes. It's only a loss if you don't learn, and we learned a lot. We learned a lot in that fight early in April, and then you guys got to see me grow in July when I fought Frankie. So it's just stepping stones. Everybody they get so caught up in winning and losing, this and that. I just go out there to perform. If I show up there, that was the best Max my night, and 3 guys didn't score my way. 3 guys didn't score my way. So we went back to the drawing board. We came back stronger than ever, and we be back stronger than ever on Saturday night.
Yeah. This one's for all of you guys. We actually asked the other panel this question, but I thought the answers were so fun. I would love to hear your responses. Have you guys, this is from Infame Slayer, have you guys ever fanboyed or fangirled over another fighter or athlete?
Yes. This was before I got into MMA. It was the first time, and ultimately the guy that ended up pushing me towards MMA is the first time I met Sugar Rashad Evans. I was at the Olympic Training Center, and I got called up to Denver to just come train with my friend Kymaro. And so I get up there, and I'm in the locker room. And at this time, I'm living at the Olympic Training Center. I'm just a wrestler. And I'm in the locker room. I'm changing. All right, Kymaro, then we're going to train. So my back was turned to the door, and two guys walk in. Kymaro walks in, and then follows him. Behind him was Sugar Rashad Evans. And this was after Rashad just beat Rampage in that big fight. So he walk in, I turn around real quick. I'm like, oh, shit. That's Sugar Rashad Evans. Inside my head, I'm like, but I ain't gonna say nothing though. I'm gonna be cool, you know, I'm gonna play it cool. And we went out and we trained, and after that, I couldn't believe how amazingly cool and down to earth he was.
I love that. Max?
Yeah, it was actually Aldo. One of my friends was making his UFC debut on an Aldo card. I forget who Aldo was fighting though. And then I was walking past the media room, and then that's the first time I saw Aldo in person and live. I was like, I walked past, I stopped. I was like, oh my God, it's Aldo. I need to go shake this guy's hand or something or whatever. And I walked back inside, and he's doing media. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that to this guy. He's over it. So we're the same weight class. I really was a UFC fighter. I was like, yeah, I can't be going too fangirly over this guy. So I always walk past, and then, yeah, it is what it is.
Did you reflect on that when you faced Aldo those 2 times?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I had that moment with Leonard Garcia. That Leonard Garcia fight was huge for me, because I remember taking that fight with Leonard. I remember looking at the octagon. We were standing in the octagon. I was looking across the cage. I was like, and I turned to one of my cornermen. I forget who I said. I was like, holy shit, I'm fighting Leonard Garcia. Like, it finally hit me. Like, it didn't hit me until I was actually fighting him. You know, I watched these guys in WEC, you know, for a long time, since I was in high school. And I was here 20 years old fighting him. So I was like, man, this is crazy. What a time to be alive. And then, and then with the Aldo thing, you know, it's like a lot of people know I based my game off of Aldo. Like, Aldo was one of those guys that, to me, was in a wrestling dominant sport. He was a striker doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, strikers can be champions, so I can do this. So, what's up?
Amanda, what about you?
Growing up, I play soccer a lot. I'm a huge soccer fan. And I'm a huge fan of Ronaldinho Gaúcho, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, all those guys. I'm a huge soccer fan. And I want to be a soccer player. But things changed. I'm here now. But
things worked out.
Yeah,
I feel like they're just fine for you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see. Did you guys do the Spotify thing? People were interested in Did you guys do that?
Spotify. Oh, yeah. I'm in the process of doing that now. I'm still throwing music out there. I have a crazy taste in music. It might be rock and roll. It might be The Red by Chevelle one day. What? It might be LMA, Boot Up. It might be something crazy one day. Of course, everybody knows I love my Afrobeat, you know, so.
Did you guys do that?
No, I'm an Apple Music kind of guy, so let me know.
I'm with you.
I listen a lot Brazilian music, you know, samba, you know, axé, pagode, like a bunch of things, sertanejo, and I have some fun. Listen, sure.
All 3 of you always seem to have fun. I feel like I've never been around you where you're not having a good time at whatever point in fight week or camp or outside of camp it's ever been. You're 3 of like the most chill athletes to be around.
We litty.
Yeah.
All 3 of us.
Let's see. What else do we have? What kind of meal? What's your go-to meal after a big one?
I'm not really a bad eater. You know, I don't really like chocolate or candy or none of those. I don't have a sweet tooth, but
show off.
I would just, I mean, I wish I would, because I see people eating chocolate. I'm like, damn, that looks so good. Like all these cakes and pies. Everybody talks about Thanksgiving like, oh, I'm gonna get a pumpkin pie or a pecan pie, and I'm just like, man, I wish I was into that stuff. But for me, it's just, I love Thai food, so chicken fried rice or combination fried rice. I'm into that.
We got some Thai spots here in Vegas that are amazing.
Don't remind me.
After your fight.
I love baked goods, pastries, donuts, cupcakes, whatever. Somebody gave.
Me too.
Actually, one of my fans just gave me a basket. It's unembedded and had 2 cupcakes in it. I was like, really? Like right now? But thanks for looking out. Yeah, but I love any baked goods. You want a key to my heart? Go bake me something real good.
The sweet stuff is, I miss the most in my diet, you know? And like chocolate, like ice cream, all those things, like, I can't wait after the fight. I can like really sit down in front of the TV and then just like stay there.
They're all ready for weigh-ins in 48 hours is the moral of this story right now. Okay, you wanted some weird questions, so here we go. This is a space aliens question I asked the last panel. If space aliens announced they were going to destroy the world in 24 hours and there was no way to avoid it, and you had unlimited resources, what would you spend the time doing?
Well, it depends. Are they like destroy? They got like laser cannons, like all stuff that we can't defend against, or they just got regular shit to fight us like we got?
I think
they do.
I think they have lasers.
Okay, if they got all that stuff that we can't defend against, I mean, we're fucked. They just gonna kill us. But if they don't, I'm gonna assemble an army. Francis Ngannou will be in the front of the army. So come on, aliens.
Yeah. I would get all my family together, get Nina and everybody, my dogs, all the animals together. Let's die together, you know. Let's hug each other and let's go together.
Very respectable answer there.
I mean, that's all you really can do. Get your family, have one last supper. They said they're gonna destroy the earth, right? They're not gonna take us. They're just gonna destroy it. So 24 hours. Let's just like binge food. Let's go hit up Cheesecake Factory or something, and let's just make them cook a bunch of freaking cheesecakes. I want them.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know if anyone will be working those last 24 hours.
They usually got some just on display all the time. So maybe we fight over those.
You know, it's somebody gonna be there working that overtime, getting that overtime pay. Somebody's there. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to something a little bit more respectable here in my questions. The username is he should finish. Does your motivation ever dip? Obviously, you guys are constantly training so hard. There's always a new challenge and a bigger fight in front of you. But do you ever just have days where you're like, oh, how do I keep going?
Yeah, I think it's very, very hard, which is why like time never stops for anybody. You know, it keeps going. So it's very hard to just you can't be 21 forever. You know, like Max man, he was 21 when he seen Aldo, but I'm sure Max was hungry as shit. Like, he was like, I'm making maybe 8 and 8 or something at that point. Like, I'm trying to make millions. I'm trying to take care of my family, so motivation changes. But now when you start making the millions, motivation changes. So it's going to be a wave, but it's, you know, part of being a champion is finding a new way to get that motivation back, to stay a champion.
Yeah, I feel like the hardest part is like when you 3 weeks away and then you get injured. And then you're looking at me like, how am I gonna do this? I have to go to the gym, I have to training, I have to I have to walk in the gym, what am I gonna do now? And then you can question a little bit like, damn, like, if I'll be able to make it, I don't know. But, you know, my wife is next to me every day, you know. You have to have somebody like that push you sometimes when you really like not that. But when I walk out to my bedroom, I see my 2 belts, actually couple belts in my house right now. And that is the biggest thing motivating me. I want to see those things forever in front of me every day that I wake up. And I walk the next day and go to the gym, even sick. When I go to the gym, the coach put something together, we can at least break a sweat, you know, and I go back home happy.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's people keep forgetting we're humans too. You know, we got mental stuff, we got personal stuff going on, injuries happen, and you just gotta get remotivated. You know, like George St. Pierre once said, it's easy to win the belt, but it's hard. It's harder to keep defending it, and people don't understand why it's hard to defend the belt. It's hard because us champs, we just re-earning what we have already. Like we don't even get new belts anymore. We get little Octagon things now. We should get rings though. UFC, get me a ring. I want rings. I want to be walking around with rings like Jordan or something like this. Tom Brady too, you know. So at the end of the day, that's just it. You know, you just gotta keep on digging deep in yourself and finding questions. Like me and my team, what we love doing, we love figuring out questions or problems. Like people say, like this guy gonna be too much in for Max here, this and that. Be like, okay, I'm gonna jump right in the deep end with this guy and let you guys know, like, is he too much or am I too much? So at the end of the day, it's just figuring out what you want and just keep striving.
All right, one more question before we turn it over to media. Do you guys have an MMA greatest of all time in your mind, excluding yourselves? Is there somebody either that you've just always loved to watch or you think, oh, that was the greatest fighter of all time? It's a hard question, I guess.
Greatest of all time. Honestly, I might be a little biased because I kind of know the guy. I would have to say maybe John Jones. Just I know he's got a lot of. I know he's outside the octagon. Things kind of, you know, tarnished a little bit of that reputation. But I mean, to be able to go on the run that he went on, slaying champ after champ after champ after champ. I mean, the way he was doing it, I would have to say he's probably the best we've ever seen. No offense, guys.
I feel definitely John is pretty fun to watch, and George St. Pierre as well. I feel like watching him fight, like the time he has, like the time of the takedowns, everything's like pretty amazing. And I look up to that kind of style a lot, you know. I wanna be able to time everything in the fight, and I've been doing that very well, you know. Whatever, when I want to take the person down, I'm gonna do it. When I want to strike, I want to strike. Feel like George St. Pierre, I look for a lot of that style.
Love it.
Yeah, I think mine's a GSP. Yeah, just amazing, you know, especially what he did and what he was doing, and then it kind of showed how he's human too. Like that Matt Serra fight kind of got away, and then he came back, and he just kept becoming stronger and stronger. So I think GSP for sure is up there for me.
Well, I think a lot of people would name you guys as well as some of the greatest ever. So with that, let's turn it over to our media. John Morgan, I see you.
We'll start with Amanda, please. Amanda, your last two performances especially have been spectacular, and everybody says you're the women's GOAT, no question. Do you feel like a responsibility to go out there and do things like that every time? I mean, is it enough to go get a decision and hang on to your belt, or do you feel like as you're preparing, you have to do something spectacular every time?
No, I just want to be ready, you know. I have to defend those belts, you know. I don't want to have those belts at home, and no, I want to keep making history, you know. Keep have the belt, defend as long as possible, and be ready. I think that be ready, mentally strong to get through everything.
And I know you've made it clear you want to keep defending both belts. Can't look past this fight, of course, but 2020, next year, what's it going to look like? Ideally, what would you do next year?
I'm going to defend my belt right after this one. Next year, I want to defend my 145 belt. Keep making history. Keep making something nobody did before.
And would you go back and forth each time, you think, or would it depend on who's ready?
Yeah, I'm going to do it, you know. It depends on my body, you know. If my body responds very well, and I will keep it doing till forever.
Thanks, man.
Thank
Max, last time you were scheduled to compete here in Vegas, things didn't go so well. I'm just curious kind of what the vibe has been like as you've been in town. I mean, have there been any like weird memories from that week or weird things where you're like, you know, kind of feeling eerie memories of that week?
Nothing at all, man. This is the 9th island. I got a bunch of Hawaiians here. I got a bunch of Hawaiians flying in. A bunch of Hawaiians live here, so I just can't wait for Saturday, man. I can't wait for this weigh-ins, get this weigh-ins over, and then I get to see Alex Acosta Octagon for me.
Can you talk about where you're at? I mean, you fought everybody at 145, but you fought the greats, man. This guy, you know, it's kind of his time in the spotlight for the first time. Where does he rank? What do you see in him? Is he a worthy challenger?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's the #1 contender. He went to Rio, fought the King of Rio, got a decision in Rio, so you know, kudos to him. But this is MMA, man. You guys all know. You guys all work in the MMA business. There's a new face every 2 weeks. So whatever face, whatever cupcake, whatever mysterious flavor pops up, let me know. I want the first crack at it.
Thanks, Max. Kamaru, I gotta ask, man. I mean, you are incredibly relaxed and a bit jovial right now. I mean, we think about the build-up to this fight. It has been intense. It's been crazy, and you seem kind of chill right now. So I gotta ask, what the mood is like for you a couple days out from this fight finally being here? And I mean, is this fight personal to you?
You know, I mean, I'm relaxed because this is it's a fight. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be locked in there, and I'm gonna do what I've been training to do. So. I don't think anything much more than that. You know, just because this clown is running his mouth as much as he wants, hey, he's worried about me. I'm not worried about him. He's the one who's talked all the shit in the world. So now he has to go prove that. The pressure's on him. I'm champ, not him. He has to come out there and prove it. But man, I'm relaxed. This is the 4th time this fight should have happened. Actually, 5th time this fight's been offered to him. I've accepted every single one. He hasn't. So there's no other person for him to fight except me. So that's why he's pretending to you guys like, oh, he wanted this fight, this and that. Because there's nobody else. You want to be the champ. You got to come beat the champ. So
trash talk is trash talk. I mean, that happens leading into fights, but he's laid some serious claims on you out there about like failing drug tests and not being able to pass USADA. Obviously, we haven't seen any of that, but I mean, what do you think when he says things like that?
Okay, if I failed a drug test, wouldn't you guys know? I mean, John Jones, some of these guys are the biggest stars. If they fail the drug test, everybody knows. Wouldn't it be better for the company to not leak those guys failing drug tests rather than me? This is just stupid. This is him trying to make excuses why he's going to get his ass kicked on Saturday night. And then he's already now came out and said that, hey, oh, this is just an act. You know, I don't give a shit. Yeah, he came out, you know, he said it was just an act, you know, they were going to cut me, so I put on this act. You fucking nerd. It doesn't matter. After you get your ass kicked, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care.
It's all going to go down on Saturday night, but tomorrow there'll be a face-off. Friday there'll be a face-off. I know we're all really looking forward to it. Let me ask you, what are you expecting out of those moments when you two guys are standing there face to face? How are you expecting those to go, and what are you hoping to take out of those moments?
Nothing. I'm like you mentioned, I'm just very, very relaxed right now. You know, I'm just ready. I'm ready to go. I can't wait to step off the scale on Friday. That's what I'm looking forward to. You know, for him, the face-off, I don't really care. You know, we all know what a face-off is. When you finally go face to face, it's just, you know, your heart rate might go up a little bit, but you know, that's it. And then, you know, next thing you know, it's Saturday. The ref is asking you, are you ready? Hell yeah, let's do it.
Max, question right here. After your last fight at UFC 240, a lot of people are asking you if you would fight Volkanovski on that Melbourne card. That was a few months later. And you said the only thing you want to do is you want to do a couple tests to see where your brain was. And you point to your son. You said, it's not for me, it's for him because I want to be around down the line. How did you take those tests, and was everything good?
Yeah, me and my team, we take medical and recovery and everything super serious. So I didn't want to be like, yeah, let's do it, and a couple weeks later go check up for. I just actually go up to just get checked up, to be honest, and then they tell you, oh, something's wrong with your hand, and I can't fight. You know, I look like the biggest douche ever. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I didn't want to do that to him. You know, promise him something that I couldn't keep. So we just was waiting, you know, and then, you know, so be it. We're here at the biggest fight of the year card, and I can't wait.
Similar questions for Kymaro and Amanda. How serious do you take the test immediately right after, like brain scans or whatever, to check where you're at before you even think about your next fight?
Oh, I take it very, very serious. You know, let's be honest. You know, when you right after the fight and you're successful, you know, of course you want to jump right back in there. You're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. I could do that again. You know, but I actually do take it very serious as far as being testing, because I have a 5-year-old daughter. You know, and one of the biggest thing for me is I always said, man, when I'm in my 40s, when I'm done competing in this sport, I want to be able to play with my daughter, not just sit on the couch and just watch her run around and say, all right, good job. No, I want to actually be mobile and able to play with her. So, yeah, of course, you got to take those tests very seriously.
Yeah, for me as well. Of course, when we go to the media right after the fight, we already, who is going to be the next? And the media already ask you, who's the next? Who's the next? But of course, I take my vacation very serious. You know, go home, stay with my family, recovery. see if I have any little injuries that I have to take care to come back training strong. And yeah, waiting for the next step right after.
Max, you actually said that Andre Fili was probably your toughest fight to date so far, but looking at Alex, in what way could Alex be your toughest fight, and in what way could Alex be your easiest fight?
The beautiful thing is we get to find out. We get to find out come Saturday, you know. We see what happens. I don't know, you know. Everybody can be like, oh, maybe you fought this guy, he's like Alex, but he's not, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of guys that be like, oh, Alex fought guys like you, and look what he did to him. But they're not me. Was those guys ex-champions? You know, do those guys have the heart, the mindset that I have? Like, everything always comes into play. So at the end of the day, I just can't wait to see him. You know, he presents a lot of questions, you know, and me and my team sat down, we talked about it, and we think we got the answers. So live on pay-per-view or live at T-Mobile Arena, come see it.
Then for Amanda, you know, you've knocked out Chris Cyborg, you knocked out Holly Holm. Germaine de Randamie, you know, had a very close fight with Holly Holm, and she opted to drop the belt rather than even fight Cyborg. So I'm curious, when you're looking at her as a competitor and as a champion, how do you really feel about her, considering that she would walk away from a belt rather than fight someone?
You only prove if you're a champion if you defend your belt. You know, she proved she gave up her belt. She's not supposed to be in this spot that I am in right now. I feel like she evolved a lot. She's a very tough opponent, but I will have all the answers for Saturday night. I will walk away with my belt. There's no doubt in my mind.
And then for Kymaro, you've basically inherited the bad blood of most of the UFC. You know, whether it's his teammates or other fighters in the division, the entire country of Brazil, people want to punch Colby in the face, and you get the chance to do that. But I'm curious, where does it begin with you? You guys have both been based in South Florida at rival camps. I mean, at some point along the way, you must have come across each other before this fight, knowing that you're going to fight each other one day.
Actually, my second professional fight, he was offered to me, and that was in 2012. I was 1-0. I just started. I'd never done jiu-jitsu ever in my life, nothing. You know, I just came in as a wrestler, and I started striking in our crazy gym. And so they offered him to me, and I said, yeah. I didn't give a shit. I was broke as hell. So I said, yeah, I'll fight him. Give me 1-on-1, I'll fight him. Yeah. And so I knew of him loosely, because the wrestling world is so small of the elite wrestlers. So I knew of him. So I said, yeah, I took the fight. But he turned down the fight, and I know he turned it down because his coach at that time is my coach now, who happened to be my first ever wrestling coach. So he turned it down years later, you know, same old, you know, but man, I don't, what was the question again? Damn, I lost my train of thought. Where did it all start? Yeah, it started, you know, even back then, you know, like if you guys really dissect this thing, it's I don't think it's ever in the UFC we've ever seen anything like this. How the ties that me and him have. It's crazy, you know, to both be 15-1, you know, that common opponent, the guy that beat him, I beat, the guy that beat me, he beat, you know, to where we have mutual friends, judging going all the way back to college, you know, so, you know, it's a crazy story, and I'm glad that on Saturday I finally get a chance to put the nail in the coffin.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time out. For Amanda, Germaine was up here earlier before you guys came up, and she said that she thinks that you're going to shoot for a takedown on her. Do you think that's going to be your game plan? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I have so many things to do in this fight. I just have to take my time. I think what I'm going to wait for, she make a mistake. I know she's going to make mistakes like it was the first time. And I'm going to capitalize, you know. But the takedown for sure is something that I look for. But I don't know when it's going to happen. I know I'll be able to strike with her. You know, I believe I can knock her out. And I know she's very good, what she have, her strike. But I already see a lot of holes. You know, we know each other very well. This is my second camp for her, you know. And I know I'm going to finish her.
Thank you. And then for Max, you seemed surprised when you heard that Kymaro say that Colby said he was putting on an act. You seemed very surprised by that. Why? What was your thoughts?
That's heavy, cuz I don't know. If you're gonna put up an act, I think so. You gotta stay with the act. You know what I mean? You cannot just like when you retire, you come out and be like, like WWE guys. You know what I mean? They do their stuff and they keep that act no matter where they're at. And then when they retire, then they talk about like, oh look, it was an act and this and that. So kind of surprised that he kind of just came out of nowhere and said it. That's got me shook.
Kymaro, thoughts on that with Matt?
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. Like if you're putting on an act, then you gotta sell that. That's your shit. You gotta sell that. But that just lets me know it's weaknesses already. He's already finding, like, come on, let's dissect this thing. You're already finding a way out. People don't hate me. Once I get beat up on Saturday, don't hate me because I was just putting on an act, because they were gonna cut me. He's doing that. And did you guys realize when I fought Tyron Woodley here in this same exact building, I had my open workout. He showed up at somebody's open workout. If you want to be the champ, you're going to show up at the champ's open workout and try to distract them, right? Why you show up at mine? Because he knew what was going to happen. He knew I was the most dangerous guy in the division, and he knew that I was a fight he didn't want. So he already been showing his card for a long time. So back to that question, whoever asked why I'm so relaxed, I'm relaxed because I know what I'm finna do.
And then just for any one of you guys, like, have any of you felt like you need to put on an act as like a UFC fighter, as UFC champion? Maybe not to the extent that Colby does it, but maybe something that you wouldn't normally say, but you felt like you had to say just to keep up appearances or what have you?
I think that's why you got the Power 3 up here. We don't have to do all that. We just be ourselves, and hey, if you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, hey, more power to you.
Yeah, exactly what he said. I got a team. They actually pull me back on the leash because I like being wild. You know what I mean? Like people was like, what? On embedded, like people was like, why are you hiking? The biggest you fight before the Ortega fight. Why are you snowboarding? I'm like, that was guys, because they won't let me do other stuff. So this is the safest stuff that they can kind of control me in. So no act at all. People gonna believe you and. But we in fighting. At the end of the day, you gotta fight. Go out there, go win fights, and everything will fall in place.
Yeah, me too. My coach, my girlfriend, and my family. My mommy always talk to me like, you don't need to jump in the cage after the fight. It's like, come down, like, they have me on a leash for sure because, this lifestyle is crazy, Fighting, like, we, like, all pumping, adrenaline, everything. You don't know how to handle sometimes. But, that's why we surround with good people. You'll be able to have your back.
Thanks, guys.
We're good? Okay, guys. Give it up for the champions. They all have more media to do today. I'm sure they've got workouts planned. We've got another full media day tomorrow. You guys, we really appreciate your time. We appreciate you having fun with this. Thank you so much for joining us for the athlete panel.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you to everybody who sent in their Twitter questions. Hopefully this is something we can do more often. Thank you to Level Up here at the MGM Grand for having us. And don't forget that on Friday, doors open at 2 p.m. for the UFC Houston press conference. John Jones, Dominic Reyes, Valentina Shevchenko, and Caitlin Chookagian will all be in the building, followed by weigh-ins, and then, of course, UFC 245 this Saturday, where you can see those three step into the Octagon for the last 3 fights of the night. Get your tickets. They are still available. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.